7:02 p.m. for the August 4th, 2026 USAC meeting. Does anyone have any amendments to the agenda? Yes, Gabby.
Yes, I would like to motion to strike the Summer Lay AS Undergraduate Council appointment.
Okay, gotcha. Um, Jonathan, do we need a motion to strike something? I can't remember.
Because this one is an action item, yes.
Okay, can I have a motion for that?
Yes, I motion to strike the Summer Lay Academic Senate Undergraduate Council appointment.
Gabby motions, can I have a second, please?
Second.
Gabby motions, Evan seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. One, two, three. Please lower your hands. All opposed? All against? With a 10-0-0, that appointment is now striked off our agenda for today. Do I have any other amendments to the agenda? Yes, Gabby.
Yes, last amendment. I would like to motion to add, one second here. I would like
Mm-hmm.
to motion to add Zuleika Ahmadzada
Mm-hmm.
for Student Initiated Outreach Committee under appointments.
Okay, Gabby motions. Can I have a second, please?
I second.
Okay. Gabby motions, Cecilia seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please don't lower them until I say so. Please and thank you. Please lower your hands. All opposed? All abstaining? With a 10-0-0 vote, Zuleka Zada for the CIC appointment is added to today's agenda. Do I have any other amendments for today's agenda? Going once. Going twice. Okay, now moving on to we need approval of the agenda, please. Can I get a motion for someone to approve the agenda for the August 4th, 2026 meeting?
Yes, I motion to approve the agenda for the August 4th, 2026 USAC meeting.
Can I get a second?
I
Second.
I think I should.
Gabby motions. Pranea seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Mm. Please lower your hands. All opposed. All abstaining. With a 10-0-0 vote, the approval of the agenda is passed for the August 4th, 2026 meeting. Now moving on to the approval of the minutes. I hope everyone took time to look at the minutes. Thank you again, Kendall. Any objections to to our minutes that was held at our last USAC meeting, which was July 25th, 2026? Hearing and seeing none, the July 25th, 2026 USAC meeting minutes are approved. Now, I will begin with public comment period at 7:07 p.m. Gabby, is there anyone online here today for to public comment? Please raise your hands for Gabby if you're here to public comment at today's USAC meeting. Is there anyone, Gabby?
It appears not.
Okay, is there just one more reminder? Is there anyone here to public comment today at the USAC meeting? Please raise your hand so Gabby can promote you. No one, Gabby? Okay, then I'm going to close our public comment period for today at 7:08 p.m. There's no funding today. There is no special presentations today. So I will start with our first appointment, which is Tessa Howe for USA BOD funding chair. Gabby, let me know when she is she already promoted. Okay, I see her. Okay, Gabby, do you mind getting the 1 minute?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It should be up now.
Okay, Tessa, thank you so much for coming. Whenever you're ready, you can start with your 1 minute opening statement.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. So hi, my name is Tessa. I am an incoming third year statistics and data science major, and I think my experience and commitment to integrity will make me a good fit for the USA BOD role. And having served as assistant chair before, I'm aware of the challenges and responsibilities that come with the role, and I'm committed to continue supporting the diverse interests and backgrounds of students on campus and just giving back to UCLA student culture.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We'll now go into our question period from council. Please put 15 minutes on the timer if that's possible. Tessa, I'll start with questions for today. So last year I served on the USA BOD committee, and some of the complaints I heard from students, especially at the end of the year, was there wasn't a lot of outreach from the chair nor FSC in regards to the promotion of the budget, promotion of the funding when it came to one, how much funding was left, two, just reminding them, oh, hey, this is when our deadline is like closing, this is the due date, especially since the USA BOD has a very quick turnaround. I was curious, like, what plans do you have to address that issue that we've heard from a lot of our student orgs, especially those who have big events at the end of the year, like cultural shows and things like that. So what tangible steps do you plan to take to perform outreach in regards to funding deadlines, application promotion, as well as being transparent about how much money is left at each quarter, and if you will possibly have like office hours or anything like that? I would love to hear your plans about that.
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. So yes, I am aware that USA BOD did not necessarily promote themselves very hugely in spring quarter, especially. And I think one way that we can address that directly is to make more use of like public platforms that we currently have. Like we have our Instagram currently, and yes, I'm aware that we did not make any posts in spring quarter. So I think that's definitely something that we can change. And it's been, the account is quite small, but I think that promoting it by posting more content will be helpful in, with just transparency issues. And I think next year it would be more useful to communicate quickly because I think there were challenges in kind of the handoff between like chair to assistant chair. So I think next year it would be better to stay in close contact with student support and SGA and just knowing how soon they can get things out and being able to work around any like communication issues in that area. So I hope that next year it will be more of a smooth process. I think I'll be making more use of the Instagram as well as monitoring the email more closely.
Thank you so much, Tessa. I really appreciate that response. And if appointed, I would look forward to seeing you carry those initiatives out. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, seeing none, we can go into deliberations. Does anyone have any comments they'd like to discuss? I'm not seeing any raised hands on my end. Okay, if no comments, then,
Wait,
can we
Paige.
do, oh wait, can Tessa
I
do
don't-
her 1 minute?
Wait, Paige raised her hand. I saw.
Oh, okay. Yes, Paige, sorry, I could not see Paige's raised hand.
Wait, I think
Sorry,
Paige just
Paige.
joined. I have to promote her to a panelist. I think she just joined. Give me a second. There, Paige should be able to unmute now.
Sorry, I just needed to be promoted as a person. I couldn't find.
Oh, okay, no worries. Then can we do Tessa's closing 1 minute closing statement? Tessa, whenever you're ready for a 1 minute closing statement.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, thank you for this opportunity to interview for this position in front of USAC Council. And yeah, I'm aware of like how important this role is to many students as they require, funding to make their events happen. So if I am appointed, I will do my best to uphold the standards set by USAC. And yeah, just thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you so much. Tessa, can I have a final motion on this appointment?
Do we have to read the ARC statement?
Oh, wait, yeah, thank you. ARC statement, please. Thank you, Gabby.
Absolutely. Tessa's thoughtful answers and experiences navigating funding bodies makes her a great candidate for this role. She emphasized the importance of serving student organizations through financial support, as well as upholding student interests through thoughtful allocation of funds and efficiency. With a vote of 3 to 0 to 0, ARC strongly recommends Tessa Howe to USA BOD chair.
Thank you so much, ARC. Does anyone, can I have a final motion on this appointment?
Absolutely. I motion to appoint Tessa Howe to USA BOD chair for the 2026-2027 academic year.
Okay, Gabby motions. Can I please have a second?
A second.
Gabby motions, Gloria seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. Okay, perfect. Please hold your hands. All, okay, please lower your hands. All opposed. All against. With 11 to 0 0, it says Howe is appointed for USC BOD chair. I also, before we move on to the next record, I do want to go back to approval of the meeting minutes because I did say the wrong date. Does anyone have any objection to the approval of the meeting minutes for the July 21st, 2026 USAC meeting? Okay. Seeing none, then the July 21st. 2026 USAC meeting is approved. Meeting minutes are approved. Thank you. Now moving on to our next appointment.
Right. 1 second, you guys. Jaya, I believe, is rejoining as a panelist. I promoted. 1 second.
Sorry, had to switch devices for a little bit. Okay. Is our next appointment with she, or are they, or
Yeah,
are
should
they
be.
here?
Yes, I promoted her.
Okay, is timer up? Okay, looks good. Jalen, whenever you're ready for your 1 minute opening statement.
Okay. Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Jalen, and I'm a rising junior reapplying for CS Mini Chair position. Over the past year, I've had the opportunity to serve as CS Mini Chair, where I reviewed funding applications, evaluated budgets, and worked with the committee to allocate funding to student-led survey initiatives. That experience really gave me a much deeper understanding of the responsibilities that um, overseeing student funds and the importance of making decisions that are fair, transparent, and centered on community impact. If reappointed, I hope to continue improving the funding process while ensuring the CS Mini Fund remains accessible, equitable, and impactful for all student organizations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now going on to questions. Does anyone have any questions for Jalen? Okay, last one. Jalen, what tangible steps and promotion will you take to student organizations, especially student organizations who are in an excess need of funding, whether those student orgs be more smaller organizations who often are awarded funding, or organizations who have significantly financially demanding events in which they need excess funding?
Yeah, I think outreach has to be really intentional, especially if we want to reach out to small organizations or new organizations, transfer student organizations, or group that may not have as much, institutional knowledge about funding opportunities. So I think first I would want to work with CSC commissioners and project leaders to promote about CS Mini Fund through organizations they already work closely with, rather than just relying on emails or social medias. That really help us to reach out to groups that may not already have connections with the CSC. Second, I would also like to hold like a short information session or office hours before each application cycle. So where organizations could ask about questions such as eligibility or budgeting, and even about just small things about like application process itself as well. I think many organizations have great but are really hesitant to apply because they're unfamiliar with university funding procedures itself. So for small organizations or those with greater financial needs, I wouldn't change the evaluation criteria, but I would make sure they know and support they need to submit competitive applications. So my goal is really just to make sure no organization misses out simply because they know how to navigate the process.
Thank you, Jalen. Are there any other questions? Yes, yeah.
Hi Jalen. Thank you so much for coming in today. I know I've bugged you a lot in the past with CS Mini questions. But my question is kind of similar in regards to communicating information about the fund. I wanted to ask, um, I guess I remember last year at some point CS Mini was briefly depleted or unable to allocate. So in situations where CS Mini's ability to allocate to funds, or like maybe there's delays in allocations and things like that, how would you go about communicating that information to organizations that are looking to apply?
Yeah, that's a really great question. yeah, I know we have times where we are, out of budget and it's really hard for us to communicate that situation with organizations. I think we reached a point where the budget was depleted and we were unable to provide funding. I think the most important thing is to communicate honestly and proactively. I think it's really important for us to explain the situation transparently by letting organizations know that the decision wasn't a reflection of the quality or the value of the project, but rather it was the reality of the limited funding and the number of requests we received. And I think it's important to clearly communicate the criteria that we used and the financial constraints the community was working under so that the organizations actually understand how the decision was made. But at the same time, I think I want to I want the conversation to be quite, I don't know, constructive, if that makes sense. So if possible, I would encourage organizations to apply maybe in the next funding cycle or find maybe other funding such as SFS or CS Transpo if possible, or connect them to maybe like other different potential funding opportunities within UCLA. So if the project could be adjusted to reduce costs or prioritize essential expenses, then I'd also be happy to discuss those options as well.
Thank you, Jalen.
Great question, Maria. Thank you, Jalen, for your response. Anyone else have any questions? Mhm. Okay, Jalen, we're ready for your 1-minute closing statement.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today and also considering my application. I think serving as CS Mini Chair the past year has been one of the most meaningful leadership experience I've had at UCLA. And if given the opportunity to serve another time, I hope to build upon what I've learned and continue to support student organizations in achieving their goals and contribute to a funding process that is transparent, equitable, and welcoming to all applicants. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I please have the ARC statement before we do council deliberations?
Absolutely. Jalen emphasized the need to be fair while balancing the need to support community-oriented projects and initiatives. She displayed a great understanding of the decisions that goes into funding certain organizations and prioritized communication to student orgs throughout the funding process. With a vote of 3-0 to 0, ARC recommends Jalen Hahn to the CS Mini Fund.
Thank you so much. Are there any council comments before I ask for a final vote? Okay, I'm gonna read Maya's. Jalen's experience as CS Mini Chair last year gives her great experience on the funding body and how to improve it for the upcoming year. I strongly support her for the chair appointment and encourage others to do the same. Thank you, Maya. Any other comments? Yes, Bernea.
Really quickly, I liked what Jalen said about, in the event that there's nothing CS Mini can do, she can, help redirect them to other open funds on campus. So if she is appointed, I would love to connect with her, and assist her with that. But yeah.
Thank you so much, Bernea. Any other comments? Okay, can I have a final vote for this, please?
Yes, I motion to appoint Jalen Hahn to the Community Service Mini Fund for the 2026-2027 academic year.
Can you edit that, Gabby, to include that she's chair?
Yes.
Thanks, Maya.
Let me see. I motion to appoint Jalen Hahn to the Community Service Mini Fund chair position for the 2026-2027 academic year.
Gabby
I
motions.
second.
Who was
I
that?
second.
Maya.
Maya.
Okay. Gabby motion, Maya seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Okay. Please lower your hands. All opposed? All abstaining? With 11-0 vote, Jalen Hana is appointed to be CS Mini Chair for the CS Mini Fund Committee. Thank you so much, Jalen. Have a great rest of the meeting and congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, moving on to Jennifer Dow for CS Mini Fund Committee member. Jennifer, whenever you're ready, you may begin with your 1-minute opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer Dow, and I'm a rising fourth-year physiological science major and also community college transfer student. I'm interested in an appointment for the role of CS Mini Fund Committee because I'd like to engage in the collaboration between community service initiatives and the undergraduate student government to support underserved communities and the student body at UCLA. Through my past experiences, I had the privilege of participating in nonprofit brigades, where I had the opportunity to collaborate with the student government at my community college to discuss funding transparency and also advocate for my club. So I'm eager to use the skills that I've cultivated throughout my experiences and apply them to my role as a community service mini fund committee member, since I know how important it is for community service initiatives to feel supported by grants and funding.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Does the council have any questions for Jennifer? Okay, Jennifer, I have one for you. What tangible steps will you take to promote to student organizations who are in need and funding, especially those who have financial demanding programming that requires them for excess funding, such as student organizations that do mass cultural shows, or what other steps will you take to promote to student organizations who are on the smaller end, who maybe aren't as aware of these resources or often don't get their funding request often don't get funding because they are a smaller organization.
Thank you for your question. I would first work with the committee to improve outreach and see if there are any things we can do in particular to um, reach out to the smaller organizations and make student organizations at UCLA aware of the mini fund. And by doing that, I think improving outreach and promoting the fund is important for our visibility, so that we can better serve the student body and the projects that students are interested in pursuing.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Any other questions? Okay, if no questions, can I please have the timer up again for Jennifer to do your 1-minute closing statement? Whenever you're ready, Jennifer.
To start, I'd like to thank everyone for their time for this interview. I'm confident that I'll be able to serve this role meaningfully with my previous experiences in organizing, record keeping, and also participating in an environment where everyone is encouraged to voice their opinions. In particular, I was most interested by the responsibility of the committee that involves collaborating with the group to maximize funding transparency and also enforcing the CS Mini Fund guidelines so that community service initiatives can feel well supported. And as a transfer student, I think I can add another perspective to the committee with my experience of being part of a leadership team where I was able to make executive decisions when funding was limited. And so I think this opportunity is a great way for me to learn more about the work that student organizations are passionate about.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Can I please have the ARC statement?
Absolutely. Jennifer's immense understanding of CS Mini and CSC, as well as her dedication to uplifting student organizations, was great to hear. She is committed to serving the students and has good intentions with this role. With a vote of 3-0, ARC recommends Jennifer Dow to CS Mini Fund.
Thank you so much, Gabby. Are there any comments on this appointment appointment. Okay, I'm gonna read what Maya says. I strongly support Jennifer's appointment for CS Mini Committee member and hope others will too. Her experience as a transfer, knowledge of UCLA funding systems, and commitment to equity make her a great asset to the committee. Any other comments? Yes, Bernea.
I want to second Maya's comment, and I really like how diverse her experience is. I especially really like that she was on exec for an organization. She was able to advocate for her organization's needs, which is something I've done before and I think is a really important thing to have. So I also strongly support the appointment.
Any other comments? All right, can I have a final vote on this, please? I need a motion.
Absolutely. I motion to appoint Jennifer Dow to the Community Service Mini Fund for the 2026-2027 academic year.
Gabby motions. Can I have a second?
I second.
Gabby motions. Maya seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Julia, are you raising your hand? Or is that a no? Okay, please lower your hands. All opposed? All abstaining? With a 10-0 vote, Jennifer Dow is appointed to the CSA Mini as a committee member. Congratulations, Jennifer. Gabby, for the interviewees who have already been interviewed, can you please remote them from paying panelist?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then our next appointment is Isaac Chan for Community Programs Committee. Whenever you're ready, Isaac, you can begin with your 1-minute opening statement.
Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Isaac, and I'm a rising junior, double majoring in music performance and political science. And I'm applying for a reappointment onto the campus programs committee. From the past year, as one of the members of the committee and a signatory of the UCLA Chinese Music Ensemble, have gotten really a lot of firsthand experience in the funding process, and I understand how crucial CPC funding can be for different diverse cultural and education programs on campus to succeed, and especially for smaller organizations who are unable to get many chances to receive funding from the school.
Thank you so much, Isaac, for your opening statement. We'll now move into question period. Does anyone have any questions for Isaac? Okay, seeing none, Isaac, you can go into your 1-minute closing statement when the timer's up.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to interview the USAC committee. I just want to reiterate about my past experience on the CPC committee and how I will continue to support diverse programs on campus and especially promote student-led organizations and trying to approach it with more fairness and transparency and equality. I'll be honored to continue to contribute to the campus programs committee, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Isaac. I will now ask for the ARC statement.
Absolutely. Isaac was not only extremely knowledgeable about funding, but also understood the process of evaluating student orgs to ensure CPC will invest in the best interests of students. Throughout his interview, he emphasized the need for financially supporting diverse cultures and histories, and we believe he will do exactly that in this position. With a vote of 3-0, ARC strongly recommends Isaac Chan to Campus Programs Committee.
Thank you so much. Art, does council have any statements for this appointment before we ask for a final vote on it? Okay. Seeing none, can I have a final vote?
Absolutely. I motion to appoint Isaac. Oh, Maya.
Maya.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? We love being early, right? Okay. Yes, Gabby, go ahead.
I motion to appoint Isaac Chen to the Campus Programs Committee for the 2026-2027 academic year.
Second.
Yes, Maya. Gabby motions. Evan seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All opposed? All abstaining? With the 10-0 vote, Isaac Chan is appointed to the Campus Programs Committee for the 2026-2027 academic year. Congratulations, Isaac. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next are Malika. Malika. Hopefully I'm saying that right. For Judicial Board. Whenever you are ready, Malika, we have the timer up for 1 minute opening statement.
Hi, my name is Malika Nyende. I'm a second-year public affairs major on the pre-law track. I would love to be on the judicial board because of the opportunity to uphold fairness, accountability, and ensure integrity within institutions. My goal is to become a civil rights attorney, and because of that, most of my interests center advocacy, policy, understanding the legal system, and how the system impacts marginalized communities. Most recently, I was employed by the State of California Bar to serve as a bar proctor for future attorneys. Living with an invisible disability and my other experiences have taught me to never assume, to listen carefully, and to provide careful consideration to other circumstances. And if appointed, I would make sure to decide thoughtfully, to analyze with multiple perspectives, and to always prioritize evidence and facts over feelings and emotions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Malika. We'll now go into questions. Does anyone have any questions for Malika? I have one. Last year, I know Judicial Board said that they were gonna do more student org outreach. That took place as creating a sort of like petition candidate filing guide. I also do know that they attended the TSR office meeting and did a presentation, but beyond that, there wasn't any initiative from J Board to go and do outreach with communities, like attending like tabling events or going to other student org club meetings. And I was curious, what plans do you have to take tangible steps to increasing J Board literacy and knowledge amongst the UCLA's undergraduate student body?
I believe that attending student organization meetings and club meetings and tabling are great ways that we can outreach for the judicial board. But I also believe that each judicial board member being involved in different communities, like for example, I'm involved with the Black community. I've worked with first generation students and other people of color, and I'm involved with CAE and those organizations. So judicial board members, I believe, have a unique position where they are able to reach these different student groups, and also if they hear anything that they know would qualify as something that could be filed for consideration, they can urge potential petitioners to bring anything of their concern to the judicial board. I also believe that social media is another way that people can be outreach to. Um, I believe that in person is great, but social media is a way to reach a lot of people, especially that nowadays most people do have Instagram, and email is a great way to reach out to others as well.
Thank you so much for your response. Does anyone else from council have any questions? All right, Malika, whenever you're ready, Gabby has your timer set up for 1 minute closing statement.
Cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity for the council to learn more about me. I'm passionate about advocacy, but the root of that is seeking out fairness and equality for others. And I would make sure to apply this by approaching decisions impartially and holding everyone to the same standard. And as a future lawyer, I would be honored to contribute to an institution that values fairness, accountability, and justice, and to serve UCLA in this way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Gabby, can I please have the ARC statement?
Absolutely. Malika displayed a great interest in serving communities by upholding the governing documents of UCLA in this role. She emphasized the need for transparency when publishing opinions and was extremely conscious of how systems impact students and are oftentimes biased. Malika was committed to fighting against these injustices. With a vote of 3-0, ARC strongly recommends Malika Nyende to the Judicial Board.
Thank you so much, ARC. Does anyone have any comments before I ask for a final vote? All right, can I have a final vote, please?
Absolutely. I motion to appoint Malika Nyende to the Judicial Board for the 2026 to 2028 academic year for a total 2-year term.
Okay. Gabby motions. Can I have a second?
Second.
Gabby motions, Susie seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All opposed? All abstaining? With 11-0 vote, Malika Nyende is appointed to Judicial Board for the 2026 to 2028 academic year. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Malika. Okay, now moving on to Caitlin, also for J Board. Whenever you're ready, Caitlin, the timer's up for 1 minute opening statement.
Okay, hi, I'm Caitlin Wasugi. I'm a rising third-year political science and public affairs major. I previously served as a law clerk on the judicial board during the past academic year, in which I served in the capacity of summarizing and taking notes on petitions that we received, as well as timing and note-taking during the hearings, and also participating in the deliberations in a discussion and not voting capacity. And so I believe that I'm very familiar with the judicial board procedures. But I also, from this experience, know what we need to improve and reflect on. As the only member of the judicial board who was able to span the entire year, not during election season, I also think I have a unique insight on how we can spend our time wisely during the off season to improve judicial board.
Okay. Thank you so much for opening statement. We'll now move on to questions. I have one, Caitlin, since you served on last year's judicial board. So at the beginning of the year, I know J Board told council that they would focus on doing more outreach to the general student body. I am aware that they did do a candidate filing guide as well as they went to transfer student representative office and did a mini presentation. They also gave us quarterly presentations. However, I do think there should have been additional more things done to the general student body to promote J-board literacy and knowledge. So I was curious, what tangible plans do you have this year to promote J-board and its resources, as well as just promoting the understanding of J-board, making sure more students of the undergraduate student population is aware of J-board for this academic year?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you did mention the petition filing guide. I do think that from what I've heard, it was effective in helping students fill out their petitions more accurately, as in the past. I've heard that we've had to reject a great deal of petitions purely due to administrative error. And so the fact that that wasn't something that was that prevalent this past year, I think was very beneficial. However, I think that another point of transparency and outreach that we can also increase is the hearing process itself, because as it operates as a formal court hearing, I think that a lot of students, especially those who aren't pre-law and have never served on mock trial or any experience similar to that, simply aren't very aware of how to properly present their case and might be actually intimidated to have to create an opening statement and deal with that argumentative process. And so I think that we should really exercise social media to a great extent this year and create videos on what students should expect during the hearing itself so that the process is less daunting. I know that there have been a couple cases in the past year where it really did seem like the petitioners simply didn't really have a grasp on how to object and deal with objections and present arguments that would resonate based on our capacity and what we're looking for legally as the judicial board. And so I think that really emphasizing that and making that clear, and also making it clear that they can receive outside counsel to represent them if they're not comfortable with arguing on behalf of themselves. I think that's something that a lot of students aren't really aware about. I think that would definitely decrease the fear and nerves surrounding presenting a case. But outside of that, yes, we absolutely do need to increase our social media presence a lot more, and also individually reach out to student orgs, especially those who aren't as involved and maybe familiar with student government and don't know what judicial board is. Of course, we're reactionary, and so we can't, specifically reach out and urge specific orgs to file a petition formally, as that goes beyond our scope. But I think that just proactively amplifying that throughout the year is something that would be incredibly beneficial to increasing accessibility to our resources and also transparency.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. Does anyone else have any questions? Seeing none, then we can go into Caitlin's 1 minute closing statement.
Sorry. Yes, thank you so much for your time and willingness to um, hear my reasons for wanting to continue serving on J board in a greater capacity. I think that there is a lot that we can reflect on in the upcoming year, and I think that my previous experiences also outside of JBoard, serving as a volunteer on the Student Conduct Committee is also another experience that amplifies my capacity to serve in an objective manner, maintaining empathy while also judging strictly based on an established code. And also in cases that could potentially be high profile and have the vested interests of strong student groups, continuing to maintain that objectivity. And I definitely have a lot of ideas to improve and grow upon this year.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. Can I please have the ARC statement?
Absolutely. Caitlin was very dedicated to promoting accessibility and transparency in her position in JBoard. Beyond that, she provided a lot of great insights on what JBoard can do outside of hearing cases, which ARC believes is important when it comes to reaching out to the student body. With a vote of 3 to 0 to 0, ARC strongly recommends Caitlin Usugi to the Judicial Board.
Thank you so much, ARC. Does anyone have any comments on this appointment before I ask for a final vote?
Yes, I do. I work with Caitlin in Student Legal Services office. And I can definitely say that she's really passionate about like helping students in need. And also, we talked a bit during the election season about like the needed clarification between State Board and USAC. So I'm sure that she'll use this position to implement the change that's needed. So glad to see her here.
Any other comments? Seeing none, can I have a final vote?
Absolutely. I motion to appoint Caitlin Usugi to the Judicial Board for the 2026 to 2028 academic years, totaling a 2-year term.
I second.
Gabby motions, Cecilia seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All opposed? All abstaining? With 11 to 0 vote, Caitlin Usugi is appointed to J Board for the 2026 to 2028 academic terms. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Next up is Tra Aloha for SVAC from Mrs. Ashley's appointment. Please let me know how to pronounce your name, please.
Yeah, my name is, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Awesome. My name is Bushra Aliwa.
Bushra Alua. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, we have your timer up for a 1-minute opening statement.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Bushra Aliwa. I'm a second-year transfer student studying economics, and I'm looking to join SVAC for the coming academic year. Over the 2 years I spent in student government at Moorpark College, I had the opportunity to see student fee governance from both sides. As executive director of our student activity fee initiative and the student liaison for our parking and health fee programs, I represented student perspectives in conversations with administrators and spoke with more than 600 students about what they wanted to see from the fees they were paying for. At the same time, as director of budget and finance and student government, I worked closely with academic and student service departments, which gave me a very different perspective. Understanding institutional priorities and learning how important it is to remain impartial when there are many worthwhile requests people are competing for. That's what draws me to SVAC, and as a transfer student, I'd be excited to bring both perspectives to the committee, advocating for students while also approaching funding decisions analytically.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Bushra? All right, if no questions, you can go into your 1-minute closing statement.
Awesome. Yeah, I think what's interesting about transfer experience or transfer students is that they're often interpreted as not having a lot of institutional knowledge going into positions, but I think that's a challenge that when we can overcome it, it's like a worthwhile challenge that we can overcome. I was appointed into student government at Moore Park College before I even took a class there, 2 weeks before starting my first class at Moore Park. I was appointed in student government for the rest of the 2 years I was there. I was fully invested in my time as a student representative, going from director of student organizations to director of budget and finance. And a lot of that is learning to hit the ground running, and be proactive in learning about a school's institution and the ways your um, initiatives can align with both like what students want and also an institutional perspective. And so I think that's a great opportunity to learn and be proactive in SFAC as a transfer student representative on the committee.
Thank you so much. I will now ask for the ARC statement.
Absolutely. Bushra puts students first when it comes to making funding decisions that are relevant to students. She cares deeply about the legacy and impact of decisions and researched this role extensively, which we believe she will bring the same passions and dedication to SFAC. With a 3-0 vote, ARC recommends Bushra Aliwa to the Student Fee Advisory Committee.
Thank you so much, ARC. Does anyone have any comments before I ask for a final vote? All right, can I have a final vote?
Absolutely. I motion to appoint Bushra Aliwa to the Student Fee Advisory Committee for the 2026-2027 academic year for a 1-year term.
Second.
Gabby motions, Evan seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All opposed, all abstaining. With 11-0 vote, Bushra Alua is appointed to Student Fee Advisory Committee for 2026 to 27 academic year. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll now be moving on to our next appointment. Let me know when they are promoted.
Should be promoted now.
Thank you. Hello, can you please tell me how to pronounce your name?
Yeah, of course. It's Zuleika Amidzada.
Zuleika Ahmadzada. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Whenever you're ready, you can begin with your 1-minute opening statement.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. My name is Zuleika, and I'm a rising senior studying political science. I would say I identify most with the thing that I've dedicated the most time to, and that's definitely outreach work. I founded a resource hub that connected over 100 refugee families to legal, educational, and medical support. I ran a mental health companionship program for Muslim patients. I've also dedicated over 2,500 hours to the Elgrove Community Center, where I was working closely with students facing a lot of the same barriers programs like those under SIOC are built around. And now I even do so internationally. So I've gotten pretty good at telling which efforts are actually built to last and which ones fizzle out. And that's why this feels like the natural next step for me, moving from doing the hands-on work myself to helping decide what work is worth funding. So yeah, I'm more than happy to share more about the perspective I bring to this table.
Thank you so much. Does the council have any questions for Zuleika? All right. We'll now have your 1-minute closing statement, Zuleika.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you all. I enjoy the application and this whole interview experience. Something I'd like to point out that I'll add is that I'm very intentional about what I join. I curate my schedule every year around only a few commitments that I actually care about, and then I leave room for these specific commitments. And specifically this year, I left room for an opportunity just like this one, something that naturally expands on everything I've already been doing. And I spent years being the one on the ground building these outreach programs, and I love the chance to spend the next year helping decide which ones now built by other students deserve to grow too. So thank you all for the work you all do here and for considering me to hopefully be a part of it.
Thank you, Zuleika. Appreciate it. I would now like the ARC statement.
Yeah, give me 1 second right now.
Sounds good.
Okay. Suleika had an immense dedication to serving students, as made clear in the interview. Her dedication to funding student orgs and knowledge of the institution is extensive, and we believe that she is a great fit for this role. In addition, her extensive leadership and community-oriented experiences make her an extremely valuable candidate. With a vote of 3-0 ARC strongly recommends Suleika Amitsada to the Student-Initiated Outreach Committee.
Thank you so much. Does council have any comments or ask for a final vote? All right, can I have a final vote, please?
Absolutely. I motion to appoint Zuleika Amitsada to the Student Initiated Outreach Committee for the 2026-2027 academic year.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Gabby motions, Ashley seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Please lower your hands. With 11-0 vote, Suleika Amizada is appointed to the Student Initiative Outreach Committee for the 2026-2027 academic year. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Have a great
guys.
rest
Have a
of
good day.
You too. All right, all that concludes our appointments today. We will be doing all officer reports. I will start because I do have a lot that I think would be important for you guys to know. So I will, you guys can read over the ones that are not as important. But I do want to mention I did meet with the ASUCLA CEO. I know there was a lot of concerns mentioned due to the increase of Bruin access. I did want to say that the rationale was included because ASUCLA maintenance fees has significantly increased, such as like electricity fees. The CSO did mention that this academic year they will also be launching grants for this because they are aware that there are some students who will be unable to financially pay for that. So that was something I think that was a good thing that they mentioned. Something else that I think was a big request from the CEO was doing targeted outreach to UCLA dining services to get swipes being back to accepted again at UCLA dining services. That would also lead to increased revenue for UCLA dining services, which would also be able to address the issue of having to raise like Bruin access and things like that. So if anyone is interested in attending those meetings with me, please directly message me on my phone number. That would be great. Another thing I would like to address is with Steve Lurie. There was a contractor out for the time place manner dashboard. So Steve will be following up on what the progress is after that contractor out has occurred. So yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else relevant from me. yeah, just reminder about USAC volleyball, September 25th, Friday, 5 to 8 p.m. And just reminder if you guys are trying to book events in this fall, use Lori. One more thing. I wanted to say for my new I've been working on my new student welcome speech. Let me know if anyone has anything they want to include, but I will be mentioning USAC open house as well as USAC volleyball to do increased promotion for that. And I will now bounce it off to Gabby.
Yeah, absolutely. I attended the first Latinx Welcome 2026 planning committee a few weeks ago. It was really cool just to see everyone. There are no students, it is mainly adults, but that is okay. Great ideas coming out from that. Had some ARC interviews, as you guys saw just now. Had a CRC meeting, which you guys will also see just now. Shout out CRC, shout out ARC, they're doing great. Um, what else? I attended a True Brew and Raise Awards intro meeting. Hopefully we'll set up another one with Naomi to coordinate with GSA. And I also have an update, which I will provide later on the resolution I made a few weeks ago. But yeah.
So what I like to hear is Rezo reports. Cecilia.
Hello. This weekend, the exec team and EVP, as well as 20 other delegates, were in Pomona for Student Organizing Summit by UCSA, where we chose our 5 permanent campaigns. And so they're about making the UC test free, funding the Pell Grant, student representation on city councils, from pressuring the UC to release data collection methods in regards to ethnicity, and like increasing CalFresh benefits for students. So applications for the vice chair positions will go out very soon. And we'll plug that to all of your offices if any of your members are interested. I'm waiting on HR for the my own personal office application. Um, and then, sorry, the same weekend, UCSA executive board was elected, and one of my heads of staff, James, was elected as campus action committee chair. Again, this is a system-wide position. And then currently working on statement for like SB 98 implementation on our campuses, and then have a meeting with student regent designate Jordan tomorrow, and like other meetings as well. That will be in the report.
Amazing. Cecilia was also right for UA vice chair, so shout out Cecilia as well. Also, a big deal, Cecilia.
Thank you. And
Mm-hmm.
our outgoing exec, thank you for your hard work last year.
Oh, bye. You're funny. Happy to be done. Evan.
Hello. Okay, so a couple updates. So the first one is I had a meeting with Vice Chancellor Gordon, and some other student affairs representatives, and we kind of just talked about just ways that we can, best work with each other throughout this upcoming year to best accomplish and, work out the platforms that I outlined. And that meeting went really good. I'm really thankful for that. One of the biggest, I think, progressions, I guess I would say, or achievements so far in the office is I finally had my meeting with Assistant Vice Chancellor DeLuca and Chris Weber. Chris Weber was representing the Anti-Semitism Action Group report. And in this meeting, I was approached by Jewish Voices for Peace, a student group on campus, regarding some concerns regarding the published report. The first point was kind of addressing a accusation, if you will, made against USAC, and to kind of like brief overview of the meeting. The rest will be written, but pretty much just saying that we did come to a consensus, and um, now that statement that was made about USAC will no longer be a part of the published report. And from this point forward, any use of the report, any use of the report in litigation, XYZ will now have this revised version, if you will. And the second point, which regarding the definition of anti-Semitism and being conflated with anti-Israel and anti-Zionist sentiment, was also addressed. And Chris Weber committed to like opening that line of communication with our office and making sure that Any discussions of such will be met with student input and to ensure that all student perspectives are understood and appreciated when these big decision-making events are taking place. And yeah, like I said, I'll just keep the rest written. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. That's really deeply appreciated, and we see your hard work. Renea.
First of all, thank you, Evan. Your report from the meeting sounds amazing. So shout out to you. I'll keep most of mine written, but just to summarize kind of the main things, I got to attend the UCSA Student Organizing Summit with Cecilia and the delegation that her office organized. So huge shout out to Cecilia. Everything was wonderfully organized. It was a great experience. I got to connect with a lot of different leaders on campus, so I'm very excited to be involved more with UCSA and more statewide and UC-wide advocacy. Second, I did want to quickly update on the bill that I'd submitted a letter for. So AB 2212 was heard by appropriations yesterday, and the bill was placed on suspense file. There wasn't much opposition, or actually, sorry, there wasn't any, but they will be deliberating the bill and they will announce on the 13th whether it passed through the committee. But as I said, there was no opposition at the hearing, so hopefully everything will go well. But I will update at our next meeting. But yeah, so that's kind of the news from me. Everything else I'd like to keep written.
Thank you, Pranay, on the update on the bill. I'm a little stressed that's in suspense, but it's okay. God is heard. Please keep us updated on that. And thank you so much. Glad you had a good time at SOS. Susie?
Hi, I'll keep it really brief. I also got to attend the SOS conference with Cecilia and Pranea, and you were there too, of course. It was a really great experience getting to speak with all the other different student organizers across campuses and talking to the speakers as well, and kind of following up with that. I will be meeting with the USSA leader girl, just to talk about some initiatives that I have some questions on and whatnot. My applications are coming out soon, and the rest is written. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. I'm so glad you had a good time at SOS and got connected with USSA. Next, Angela.
Hello, everybody. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'll keep most of it written, but I did want to highlight a couple really exciting points. I met with Jessica the other week about the Books for Bruins initiative. I know you touched a little bit about this, Jaya, but AAC is going to have a really big expansion on the Books for Bruins initiative and to keep things, well, textbooks more affordable and more accessible to our students. So really excited to see how that looks like in the future. Had a meeting today with Gabby and Associate Vice Chancellor Gary Clark, who's the AVC of admissions, over the SAT ACT potential restatement. Also had a meeting with, we'll be having a meeting in 2 weeks or so with the registrar and the deputy registrars over incomplete notations. The rest will be written, but a lot of great stuff is happening. So super excited.
Thank you so much. Salem is not here today. I don't see Divine either. Okay. Paige.
Hi.
Hello.
Or is that I am continuing to work on filling as many of my appointments as possible and doing outreach to organizations who are relevant to those, as well as hiring. Especially if you guys know anyone who
I've been plugging. Trust, I've been
thank
plugging,
you.
Paige.
Thank
I
you.
got you.
Appreciate it.
I
We're
got you.
on that, but I don't know. Seems a little slow this year, unfortunately. So we're trying to do as much as we can about that, and then just remedying some issues from last year that have bled over. But yeah.
Okay. Sounds good, Paige. Okay. Korea?
Hi, I've been working a lot on our new financial transparency viewer, and then
Yay.
next week I'm meeting with Mary Romo and UCU for FSC's partnership with the financial workshop that ASUCLA is hosting in the fall. So look forward to giving you guys more updates on that.
Yay, thank you so much. I'm very excited to see that. I think Daniela is here. Yes, Daniela.
Uh, so right now I just been working on, I think, point number one, we already submitted the SWC budget handbook. We already finished hiring. We already had like a full e-board meeting introducing everyone to SWC. Transition meetings with past directors already happened. And then like right now we're just doing individual meetings with like new directors so that everybody's on board when the school year starts. I've also been tabling at the new student orientations and like hand hoping just to increase like kind of awareness of SVC, like also letting them know SVC is part of USAC and explaining USAC to a lot of freshmen. Just been handing out like a lot of Narcan pads, like and other like basic needs like stuff at orientation.
Thank you, Daniela. Ashley.
Yeah, I'll keep this brief. Mostly just like logistical stuff, doing a lot of interviews. Shout out to Gabby for leading ARC. And primarily have been focused on gathering data about like transfer inclusion in clubs, just to get some hard evidence to bring to Seoul, so we can tackle the problem effectively. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Ashley. Lori had a great idea actually about that. So Lori, if you can ping that to Ashley if you already hadn't. But thank you so much, Ashley. That is a serious issue. Charbel is not here today, so we'll move on to resolution reports with Gabby on her resolution.
Yes, absolutely. So essentially what's been going on in this is the second report. I've just been following up with a lot of people. So if you remember from last time, there were kind of two different paths that was gonna happen. One was the academic senate path, which Angela briefly just mentioned in her report. So we are planning on meeting with the registrar to discuss, I guess, next steps within academic senate. We're also planning on meeting with representatives from GSA to kind of discuss how we can implement this on a UC versus UCLA level. We know that in the past there have been efforts to do an incomplete removal, however, it wasn't done retroactively. So now we're trying to look at that sort of language to like retroactively remove these incompletes, which is why we're also working with GSA because oftentimes when you graduate on undergrad, it then becomes a graduate student issue. We're also looking into some data that has been published in the past, and this is where UCSA comes in, where we're looking at meeting with the UCSA president and then the incoming disability justice appointed officer, so we can I guess, see how we can raise this to a UC level issue and how this is part of like a broader non-ADA compliance thing. So it's just a lot of meetings. I've been just following up and we're gonna have a meeting this week, I believe on Wednesday, with a GSA rep and then hopefully the UCSA president and some USAC representatives to discuss these actual next steps on how we can mobilize hopefully both parts of the plan. So first working with AAC, EVP, with the academic senate policy proposal route, and then UCSA in addition. Now that we have the actual incoming council that's active, hopefully we can make some plays for that and get them to publish a similar resolution that USAC did. But yeah, that is my update, and it's in the report. So it's a link called Plan.
Amazing. Orlando.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. The only update I have is I've sent out some emails to try to meet with you all. For those that haven't gotten back to me, reach back to me. Appreciate it. Other than that, that's all I have. Thanks a lot.
Lorelai.
No,
Oh, wait, she's not
Lorelai.
here. My bad. My bad. Lori.
I don't have any updates this week. Have a great week.
Thank you, Lori. Jonathan.
Hey, hi, hello, all. Just a few things from me today. We do still have the OSAC administrative role open for your office space allocation committee. Again, that's an hourly role under student government services that we're hiring for now. You can apply on the ASU CLA website. A reminder to everyone except Maya, it seems to do your module set 3. That is
What?
your
I thought.
financial modules, SGA wise. So please be sure to complete that. If you have in the last couple of days or something, then this just isn't updated, and Lorelai will update when she returns. Um, Speaking of Lorelai, if you have a funding body under your office, please be sure to get her a copy of your proposed guidelines, as well as your chair info for this year, as soon as possible, so she can look over those and we can get that running. Additionally, for those that have budget sheets from SGA where you break down your budget larger, those are due on the 14th of this month, so in about 10 days. If you'd like to meet with SGA, please let me know. I'm happy to set that up for you. Also speaking of recs, recs are open. So the fiscal year has begun, and your recs for the year are live on the USAC website. However, keep in mind if you have not submitted a budget sheet yet, if you are one that needs to, then your budget is not active yet, so you cannot submit a rec. And you also need to complete that module set 3 first. Reminder again to submit your materials for HR review. Thus far, I have not received anything from any of the Gen Reps, CEC, or ISR. Again, it has been taking a couple weeks usually, so the sooner the better. And if you couldn't tell, Lorelai is not here today. Lorelai is out the rest of this week, as well as Jessica is out the rest of this week, and so is Beverly from SGA. So if you need anything in the meantime, please let me know. Otherwise, your patience is appreciated. And lastly, I've gotten a couple reports of ants on the third floor of Kirkhoff in offices. I've put in some tickets for those. So if you are around campus, I encourage you to check in on your office. If you do find ants, please let me know so I can submit a ticket for you as well to have pest control come out. But also just a general reminder to everyone that you should not be storing food or open liquids, anything that could attract pests inside your office, especially as it's been very hot. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, Jonathan. Now moving to old business with the bylaw change from, yeah, what else? This is in line. Yeah, Maya, remember, just Maya can only speak, cannot speak in his messages, but she just says, as I mentioned previously, proposed bylaw change would update the list of CSC's affiliate organization. This is in line with our goal to provide resources and increase number of organizations to offer best possible support to our projects. Please let Maya know if you have any questions, respond via message. So are there any questions on this bylaw before I ask for a vote? I have no questions. Looks good. Yep. All right, if no questions, can I get a motion, please? Oh, CRC recommendation, please. So that would be Ashley.
Oh, yes. CRC approved with a vote of 3 to 0 to 0. We discussed the specific situations for each committee, but Maya probably has a more detailed understanding of that. So if you have any specific questions, definitely reach out to her. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashley. Any other questions or comments? All right, can I have a final vote, please? Can I have a motion?
Yes, motion to approve the CRC or CSC bylaw changes.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Ashley motions, Gabby seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All opposed? All abstaining? Danielle, I assume that's a yes. Okay. With 11 to 0 vote, the CSC Commission-related organization bylaw change is approved. Nothing. So it looks like I will be adjourning the August 4th, 2026 meeting today at 8:28 p.m. Thank you so much, all. I will see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Have a good week,
You.
everyone.
Bye, all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.